When I was younger, I always thought that life was already decided, and time was a conveyor belt where all I had to do was stand on it, and my life would come together like a jigsaw puzzle or a Lego house, the pieces magnetizing over time's conveyor belt, revolving around the person day and night, day and night. You can always jump into the sea or into a swimming pool. Hello everyone, my name is James and I have moved back to the island of Saipan. It's a tiny island east of Manila, south of Japan, whose moat is the Pacific Ocean on one side, the Philippine Sea on the other. Saipan is one of numerous islands that America seized from Japan in World War II. The island mentioned in Miyazaki's The Boy and the Heron, and the island that in June 2024, this year, declared Julian Assange a free man after 14 years of persecution for espionage, which is the most excitement this island has seen in the world's press since probably the death of DHL co-founder and resident pedophile Larry Hillblum. And before that, probably World War II. Those were the last 3 moments the world remembered that we were here. We're out here. Very little has changed in the last 18 years. Saipan is still an island of low-rise, concrete buildings built to withstand typhoon season from around July to November. Otherwise, the air is a humid swelter or a sultry, voluptuous breeze. The kind of breeze that seduces you in and out of hotel swimming pools or seawater. The kind of air that inspires a lot of teen pregnancy. An issue on this island, but hopefully it's getting better. Listen, my siblings were a part of that too, okay? That's not criticism, that's just an observation. Okay, we're good. Are we good? Okay. Listen, someone's heaven is someone else's hell, alright? Well, if you like golfing, diving, sailing, or beachfront hotels with swimming pools, this could be your heaven. This could be your heaven. Since I've been back, I've attended a cousin's wedding, an uncle's funeral, I've explored the island, and have started remembering what I left behind, who I used to be, how I was. Anyway, I am starting over at the age of 35, 18 years since leaving this island. When I was younger, I always thought that life was already decided, and time was a conveyor belt where all I had to do was stand on it, and my life would come together like a jigsaw puzzle or a Lego house, the pieces magnetizing over time's conveyor belt. And I would look at the assembly over the years and call it my life. Well, now I know that's not how it works. You decide your life or someone decides it for you. You create your own world or else you live in someone else's world. I've lived most of my life in someone else's world with only fragments of clarity and freedom in an otherwise long dream. The moon. I watched my family, friends, classmates go out into the world and become professionals in healthcare, accounting, education, law, and technology and music, buy property and start families. The King of Pentacles. While their chariots went outward, my chariot went inward. The Hermit. But I had to go inward to find a cure in order to expand into life by understanding what happened to me, processing instead of blaming someone for it. Death, the sun. Because back then, I had given more power to my past than to my present. Obsessive and controlling, domineering. The devil, the Nine of Swords. I am so far away from the fearful child I was in 2006, and I am back as a Reiki healer, yoga certified instructor, channeler, and side note, with a marketing degree. And I belong to a collective that is bringing elements of the spirit from across the world and across time to the homes we left behind, to where our spiritual journey began. It didn't have to take 18 years. This is not things that we talk about. We don't talk about trauma here. We don't talk about spirituality. We don't talk about energetics, frequencies, meditation. We don't talk about any of that here. But I will. I will. This video is not sponsored by Oronamin C. Honestly, I don't really drink this too much because it's very sweet and sugary, but it kind of reminds me of Mountain Dew. I've always been attracted to characters in films or books who are in a precarious point in their lives, who look back at a past that is fixed, unchanging, and gone, and also look forward to a future that's completely uncertain and unknown. And that's exactly where I am. I've always been attracted to slice of life stories, whether that's on celluloid or paperback. And I've been thinking repetitively about Sofia Coppola's films and Satyajit Ray's films. And I'm approaching my experience now with that sort of perspective. Not cinematically, of course. I am nowhere near their caliber, and I am certainly not a filmmaker. But in terms of the perspective, in terms of the story, following and documenting the daily life, my daily life here on this island. And when you live on a tiny island, it's easy to feel like you are removed from the world, that you are on a side quest. And all the while, halfway around the world, smoke is still rising from what remains of Palestine, from Ukraine, from Lebanon. It's just so strange. It's just like living in an alternate reality. I've zoomed back into a microscopic existence of tropical lassitude, family affairs, small gatherings surrounded by the sea and the stars and the jungles, and small Asian mini-marts and concrete buildings and heavily tinted cars and stray dogs. Everything else feels worlds away. In summary, it's called island life, or slow living. So far away from the bustle of cities and their ambitions and the smog of industry. I could say that island life feels like a carousel of the same events revolving around a person. Just revolving around the person day and night, day and night. But actually I felt the same way anywhere I lived. It's just there's something about the air and the climate and the habits of island life that make that carousel more obvious. Well, I'd rather be on an island if that's the case. You can always jump into the sea or into a swimming pool. Hi everyone, thank you for watching. Episode 2 is up now and it's called Reinventing Loneliness. I talk about the research and the year my loneliness ended. If you experience loneliness, I hope that when you look back, 2025 is the year your loneliness ended. I'll see you there.